Today I'm going to be playing this Druid deck that's looking to take advantage of Ancient Watcher and Arcane Watcher. So as far as activators go, we actually have quite a few. I've got some basic silence stuff with Dalaran Librarian and Keeper of the Grove. I've got a couple copies of Ethereal Log Merchant, which specifically activates the Arcane Watcher. Also has some synergy with Swipe. And just 1 mana 2/1, deal 1 damage to another minion is pretty good sometimes. And finally, we've got 2 Reinforcements, 2 Ironbark, and 2 Germination to give the Watchers Taunt. I'm also playing 2 copies of Faceless Rager, which on its own is pretty good with either of the Watchers, but is particularly good when we also buff our Watchers with Reinforcements or Ironbark. I've also got a couple copies of Imprisoned Vile Fiend, which is a good card on its own and another decent way to use the Faceless Rager. Finally, as our top end, I'm playing a couple copies of Emerald Explorer and Marsh Hydra, because they're just pretty good things to give us some sustain in the late game. And they actually also happen to be pretty good with like Germination, Faceless Rager, and maybe even Ironbark. So far, I'm actually 13 and 12 with this deck, so it seems like it's pretty okay, and it's actually surprisingly fun to play.
Elise versus Leandrin.
My blade burns with holy fire. Class is in session.
Germination after Vile Fiend is pretty good. Is the Germination a keep, though? I'd rather hit any of my Watchers, Acorn Bearer, Reinforcements, maybe Msshi'fn, maybe Faceless Rager. Yeah, I guess Faceless Rager is probably better than Germination. I think I tossed Germination. Alrighty. Mulliganed into some pretty good stuff. Oh. I don't know what's happening. I could actually Ironbark here. It's pretty strong. I have to delay my Vile Fiend for a bit, though.
So many contradictions.
This isn't bad, right? Getting my 2/2 value traded sucks. You're just gonna eat this damage? That's fine with me. The next turn, you can attack for 5. It's pretty tough, pretty strong. Do I Germinate this thing? Sure, why not? Makes it twice as likely I draw the big man, right? I mean, not really, but close enough.
In time, all things are possible.
Oh. Well, if I knew that was coming, I would have saved the Germination or my Emerald Explorer this turn.
We must stop this corruption.
Dragon Queen Alexstrasza is pretty far away from being active. So do I want Ysera or just a frickin' 8/8? Ysera is probably good. I just want to get stats in play. I don't currently have a use for this librarian. And if I do pick up an arcane watcher, I have the Aug Merchant anyway. No Divine Shield, so no Dragon in hand, right? Oh, settle down over there, buddy. Settle down. So I could hit him for 7 here. That doesn't really seem good enough.
You're paying for my discretion.
515 Ysera is pretty insane. And I did get one of the damage spells. Ooh, Consecration's strong. Sarah's pretty tanky, though. Only Vile Fiend had charge. Swipe is lethal. Oh, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. What do I want, though? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to take... Well, yeah, it does make sense to take a rush minion. Right. I could have cashed in on the Nightmare here, which, if I knew I was getting Sarah Awakens, maybe would have been more appropriate. But it actually seems like the 5-1 might not be that easy for him to deal with. There's no way you can win this game spinning his mana like that, right?
Well played. Your win. I consent. You have legendary skill, my friend.
Yo, rank 4? This deck is sick.
Elise versus Malfurion.
I must protect both.
Class is in session.
I like the 2-3. I don't think Germination's quite a keep, though. One, 2, 3, 7. I think I'm usually playing tree enforcements here. Strength in numbers. Yeah, this looks like a tree enforcements curve. Like, maybe if I picked up a Faceless Rager, I could save it for the buff. But it seems like they're just going 2, 3, 4. Yo, is he gonna take 6 damage from my 1-drop? That'd be sick.
I have trained for days.
Interesting. Probably still play this. I value my coin pretty highly with this Marsh Hydra in my hand. Probably makes sense to go ahead and hit there, though. Look at this pathetic 1-power minion.
I must safeguard.
So I could coin out the Emerald Explorer next turn. I guess that's pretty good, because it can usually find a follow-up. Even if the follow-up is just like a big ol' whelp or something, it's pretty good. Get to trade my Keeper into that, which isn't too bad. I don't have an activator for that, or maybe I would consider playing it.
We must stop this corruption.
So I do have this Arcane Watcher I could play next turn. I think I still want to just take the Fey Wing, though. Like, I don't have an activator for this. I mean, I have Taunt activators for it, but those aren't super good. I just want a minion that I can get down and start beating with. Roar, huh? I have 15 damage here, I think. Which is, you know, not lethal. I guess I'll just get a 2-2 in play, since I picked up Roar. And the Iron Bark is going to be free next turn anyway, so no real reason to play it. Where's my second Keeper of the Grove when I need it? How good is Roar here? Roar. I'm just gonna play this thing. I think I kill this. Maybe I kill this.
So many contradictions.
Terrible 8. So if he has to make this trade, that's not bad for me. That's bad for me. Well, let's go Supreme Abyssal. Yo, he can go face, maybe. Embiggen is pretty whatever at this point.
Dream is your nightmare.
Oh man, this Dalaran Librarian could be so sneaky here. Like, he saw a Keeper of the Grove, and he sees these Watchers, so like he has to know there's some amount of silence in my deck. But does he remember that Dalaran Librarian exists? Maybe he does.
I just want some peace and quiet.
Probably just want this in play since I have Roar. I beat a 5 health Taunt here,
We must stop.
which is probably not a realistic thing he would ever play. I have quite a few lethal draws. Silence, Rush, Damage. That is not one of those lethal draws. I can put myself to 3 here. I mean, I don't have lethal, right? I have 15. Does this deck ever play swipe? I mean, he would have, like, swiped this thing last turn if he had it, right?
Aloof Neladar.
Don't murder me, please. This line also pushes 1 more damage, so if he hero powers and I draw swipe, it's lethal. This is lethal, right? 15. 5, 7, 10, 15. Surprised I won this game, honestly.
Elise versus Illyria.
Tremble before the might of the elves. Class is in session.
Okay. Reasonable hand. Unseal the vault. Interesting.
Our neck of the woods.
Of course it's the right way. Aloof Neladar.
You can count on me. I'm certified.
Oh lord. That's a hell of a turn too. If I could draw a Dalaran librarian, that'd be great.
Who to shoot?
Your wish is my suggestion.
This is always Shadow or Death, right? So he's Highlander Quest. I thought he might be Highlander when I saw the Felmaw in that deck. I'm a little annoyed that Highlander Quest drew Questing Explorer and Licensed Adventurer and Zephyrus. But you know, no big deal.
Another soul consumed.
Oh. It's a pretty good swipe. Wow, that's an insane swipe.
For my destruction.
No more nice.
Look at that synergy. That's good, but is he going to be able to deal with my Marsh Hydra this turn? Geppetto, wow. Well, I could Geppetto, like, Ancient Watchers and then silence them. Or hell, even like Emerald Explorer, Marsh Hydra, silence those. Geppetto is probably a good pickup.
What to do? Move now.
Definitely looks like I'm germinating this Hydra. That was a good bump if he's expecting the germination. Just after this attack, so I can go face and see what happens. Trina Muerte. Jeez. Tyrion Ford Ring. Now those are 8 drops. You know how many Supreme Abyssals I've gotten off this stupid card? No more. Give me the Tyrions.
You're grown to be a fierce one.
No, that's value. He's dead to Savage Roar, right? Roar plus Keeper is 8. I have 12 in play, he's at 19. I didn't even get to use my fancy 8 drops.
I must safeguard
The fire festival is upon us.
Lucent Bark was pretty nice too.